Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to HBCU Game Day. It's our special coverage of the Celebration Bowl as we count down, getting ready to crown a national champion in HBCU football. I got a couple of champs right here with me. You know this guy.
What up?
Right here. He's your host of HBCU 101, a joint production with HBCU Game Day, Jahliel Thurman. He happened to matriculate at Virginia State University.
I sure did.
We will not hold that against him as we make a Ram sandwich here. It's our guy, Kyle Santillian, my classmate, Winston-Salem State University. You can check out Kyle Monday through Friday every morning on The Morning Hustle along with L'Oreal.
That's right. That's right. It was good.
You, man, I'm just so glad that you guys could hang out. We've been talking football all week, right? We can only talk X's and O's so much. They got to get out there and play the game. They got to figure that part out. But part of what happens, Jahliel, it's a cultural experience in Atlanta, right?
Right.
Celebration Bowl week.
It's about to go crazy.
What's the vibe?
It's going crazy. I literally was walking, dropping my grandmother off today. I said, look, I just want y'all to know it's about to be spicy. She's like, what you mean? Because she's here for a conference. I'm like, nah, Celebration Bowl. What's Celebration Bowl? I was like, well, look, it's FAMU versus Howard. All I said was that. She said, oh, it's about to be crazy. So, yeah, the energy is going to be it. I think this Celebration Bowl is really unique because it is FAMU and Howard, right? Like, you know, A&T travels. Central may travel, but then when you start getting into like too far west, PV and Alcorn State, like they may not travel the same. Howard and fam, they here. And I think that's what's gonna make the culture around the parties, the energy, the game, the suites, you know, everything gonna be crazy when it comes this year for the Celebration Bowl.
Kyle, you are a Ram, but everybody else in your family is a Bison.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody else. We're going to say I got a daughter right now who's a Bison, you know what I mean? So I guess with that being said, I'm going Bison this weekend for the Bowl. But in terms of the excitement about it, man, even back in Winston-Salem State homecoming this past, November, October, whatever, people was already talking about coming down here regardless of who was going to be in it. So I just love the fact that the energy for the Celebration Bowl and the HBCU weekend and all those kind of things is going to be there regardless, man. It's going to be a dope weekend.
And I honestly think, you know, and though he's no longer in the SWAC, I think Deion played a part in that, right? And just the energy and the exposure that he brought to the Celebration Bowl. Atlanta's one thing, but then when Jackson State was traveling and people was coming, it was like, oh, wait a minute, this is a thing.
Yeah.
And I think that has still kind of carried over now that he's no longer at Jackson State.
Kyle, what's the Howard Road show like? We always hear about Howard and their homecoming. We always, you know, hear about going to the Mecca. What do you think that energy is going to be like, Howard coming to Atlanta?
I think, you know, what Howard is going to try to do, come out here and try to prove that they're, quote unquote, this is me quoting them, the Mecca, you know what I mean? So anytime they out and about, you know, they act like they the #1 HBCU on the planet. So it's going to be a lot of that energy. I think FAMU and their crowd, their fans, their students, their alumni, they're all going to push back a little bit and say, nah, we the #1 school out here, especially as you get further south. So I really think it's going to be a clash of energies in a good way. You know what I mean? Where everybody just proud of the school, proud of the culture where they come from, and you're going to see it all clash here in Atlanta for the Celebration Bowl.
Jahliel, you spend a lot of time at FAMU. You've been down to FAMU homecomings. You know that energy and talent. But the crazy thing is, you know, FAMU traditionally used to play the Atlanta Classic. They have not played a football game in Atlanta in like almost 10 years.
Wow.
What do you think that's going to be like? And look, you guys live here. Every 2 stoplights, what do you see?
Right.
FAMU license plate.
You definitely do. I honestly believe Tallahassee is only 3.5, 4 hours away. So that's an easy drive, right? That's like if you're going to CIAA, right? From Atlanta, that's 4 hours. Virginia is so central. But also there's a lot of Rattlers in Atlanta alone, right? Like with Howard, you got Howard out here. But you got Howard more like the DMV and maybe North Carolinas and stuff like that. But like Rattlers is in Atlanta, you know? And so I believe that they're going to go crazy. But I also think it's interesting because the fam used to be in the MEAC, if I'm not mistaken, right? So they've already played Howard before in the past. This is probably their first time playing them since they transitioned to the SWAC. So I'm sure that's also going to be kind of different energy.
Add energy to it, right?
Like, you know, like an old school rival game or, you know, something like that. So
I think the people with the Celebration Bowl did a really cool thing this year because it's such a great stage to showcase the bands. And that was, you know, almost like second fiddle, you know, to the football game. But this year they added the national championship. So you got D1 showdown. You got Jackson State and A&T. The Boom's going to take on the Blue and Gold Marching Machine on Friday night. Okay. And then even at the D2 level.
Come on out, that Trojan explosion, baby.
That's hot.
That Virginia State Trojan explosion. I don't know who they got, but I ain't worried about it, sweetheart.
But that like gives like everybody something to participate in.
It makes it more inclusive.
It makes it more inclusive, but then it also makes it HBCU.
For sure.
Right? Because, okay, you took sports. Like, okay, one thing about sports, but then you added the bands. And we all know the bands are the heartbeat of HBCU. Yes. So now you've given that. But then what you've done now is people were talking to me today and was like, yo, you think Virginia State coming out? So now the Celebration Bowl has become more about, okay, Fam and Howard.
Yep.
But now, if A&T's performing, now A&T got something to see. So I think you said it was Jackson State. They got something to see. Virginia State, whoever they're going, like, and so forth and so on. To where now, not only you got the game to watch, but now they're creating a culture around, now let's tap into these different people that want to see their school. Yeah. And that's important.
Yeah. All right. You guys are outside. I'm in the house all the time.
For sure.
All right. If people haven't been to Atlanta in a while and they, get here Thursday night, maybe get here on Wednesday.
Okay.
What's some things you think people should check out?
Man, Kyle really be outside. So let Kyle take first. I got a couple spots for you, but Kyle really be outside.
I mean, we can shout out some of our people. And I this is going to go back to my roots in the Winston, Greensboro area. I know my guys, LK and R&R Productions, they got a few things going on all weekend long. They got Friday night, Saturday, and that's just on the party side. So they got some day parties, some night parties. I mean, shout them out, man. LK and R&R Productions. You can find them on Instagram and all of that. Yeah. So I know that's going to be turned up. You know what I mean? For sure.
Yeah. And then some restaurants, shout out to my guy Corey with a K. They got Tulum ATL, which is a dope restaurant.
Oh, yeah. Fire.
Whiskey Mistress is a dope vibe if they want to go some day party energy. Rock Steady is always good energy. It's on a Thursday. So those are a couple restaurants. And then
Chicago if you want guys over there.
Yeah, and if you want to do breakfast, Atlanta Breakfast Club is always a rocket, which I'm sure is going to be big busy all weekend. So yeah.
Sweet Ember.
Starbucks.
Sweet and Ember. I know a couple of other locations.
Yeah, Sweet Lounge is going to go crazy.
Yeah,
Ember.
for sure.
Yeah, it's a couple dope spots. And the thing about Atlanta is everything's going to be jumping.
Yeah.
Because it's like regular Atlanta energy already, and then you mix in Celebration Bowl. Then there's another conference this weekend and some other stuff going on. So Atlanta going to be on tilt.
Moral of the story, a whole lot of hookah going down this weekend.
A whole lot of hookah.
I think that's the investment, right? If you're looking to make an investment with your money in 2024, find out who's behind the hookah.
Hookah in Atlanta, man.
That hookah in Atlanta is crazy.
Man, it's all about supply and demand.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. We talked to the coaches earlier this week about music, right? And they talked about how big music is to the players and pregame and on the field and how it gets some hype. And if the music ain't right, the coach can tell the energy's off. So we got two very distinct cultures here. We got the DC culture.
Right.
We got the Florida culture. Now, Coach Simmons at FAMU, he was talking about, my guy's down with Kodak Black and Rod Wave and all that. But is music as regional as it used to be? Because back in the day, Florida was bass music.
Right.
DC was go-go music.
Right.
You're talking, 80s and 90s, but it's it's more of a melting pot now, right?
I think the sound has become a little bit more universal, right? But people are still proud of artists from where they're from. Right, so you still have that pride, like, oh, such and such is from Florida, or such and such might be from the DMV or whatever, and people take pride in that. But I do think the sound has come a little bit more universal, right? You're going to listen. You brought up Kodak Black. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what part of the country you're in. You know a Kodak Black song. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter what part of the country you're in. You know who Wale is. You understand what I'm saying? So that part has become more universal. But I do believe that people are still proud of artists that are from where they're from.
Yeah, but I also think too, just because you play at FAMU don't mean you from Tallahassee, right? And so
Facts.
I think, that is also what also triggers different things is that, people are from where they're from and they listen to who they listen to. I mean, you just said your daughter is at Howard, right? Was she born in Chicago?
Born in North Carolina, grew up in Chicago.
Right. So now whatever music she's listening to in Chicago, she's bringing with her to DC, and then now she's being exposed to go-go music. Because that was the first time I didn't even know what that was until when I went to Virginia State, because then it was people from DC and the DMV, and it was like go-go music. I'm like, what is this?
Same for me. I never experienced go-go music until I went to actually North Carolina.
And our friends from the DMV.
So I think that what happens is you got these athletes that listen to music that they were playing in high school, and then they bring that on with them when they start start playing in college because that was what was getting them going then, and that's what's going to keep them going.
I agree.
Jahliel, you advocate for HBCUs all the time. How big do you think this weekend, this whole week is? You know, a game on ABC, you got the national exposure, you got, you know, playing in the bins. Like, how big of a week
I
is
think
this?
it's huge because there's always this thought around HBCUs not, you know, being inadequate or not having enough to be able to survive, and whether it's academics or athletics or whatever. And so it's amazing just to see the exposure and where we've come from, right? Because Celebration Bowl wasn't always on ABC. It wasn't always this big thing. But now it's an opportunity for players to feel like they can really showcase their real talents and show off in the game. It's kind of like in NCAA basketball, right? When they get to that tournament, people that you never heard of, if they shine, and they gonna shine, like John Morant. Like I never heard of John until he got busy in the tournament, and that changed his draft stock. You know? And so I think it does the same thing. You got players that may show up and show out in the bowl that made it, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know about this guy, right? And then now they get a chance to maybe get opportunity in the NFL.
I agree with that, but I'll also take it to a cultural level, right? So obviously the athletes on the field are going to try to do their best to show out and have a good impression and show their skills. But also for the universities, man, it says, listen, look at the type of productions that we're putting on. Look at the culture. Look at the cheerleaders. Look at the flag team. Look at the athletes. Look at the energy of the fans in the stadium. This is all HBCU culture, and it's putting on a national stage, right? So there was a time when I'll take it back, man. My only exposure to an HBCU at a certain time might have been, you know, watching School Days on the VHS player or something like that. You know what I mean? And not really having any direct access or direct insight to what HBCU life is like. Now we get to see it on stages like Celebration Bowl nationally, and that's big.
Bro, the only time I saw growing up HBCUs on a national stage was on Good Morning America when A&T and Central had the brawl and with the band and the
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Crazy.
That's wild.
That was the only time. And I grew up in Raleigh, man. It was really till high school before I figured out, oh, St. Aug Shaw. Like, oh, okay, that's what's going on.
See, for me growing up, and this was crazy, just to add on to your point, me growing up in New Jersey, like, I didn't have any real concept of it. You know what I mean? And with me eventually graduating from Winston-Salem State, I went back home. One time I had to get together, and one of my friends was like, yo, how did you end up at Winston? Because if I'd have known about HBCUs when we graduated, I'd have went to one too. Right. So we had that whole conversation, bro. Yeah.
It's definitely a different time, man. The exposure is absolutely real. You check out Kyle on the radio, Jahliel?
Yeah, man. Kyle,
man, turn me up, man.
Y'all better turn him up. You know, see, I always roll with Kyle though, because Kyle was on my favorite radio station in Chicago. So when he came down here to Atlanta, I was like, you gotta turn him up 21.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Look, Kyle, me and my daughter check out Kyle every morning. Kyle has this segment, the $1,000 cash grab. 10 trivia questions. Do you think of any of the questions?
Sometimes we have a group effort. Shout out to my guy Yanni. He's our executive producer. You know what I mean? So he'll come up with a lot, and he'll say, "Yo, if y'all got something, throw them in there and mix and match." But I'll give him a majority of the credit. He comes up with most of them.
Look, Kyle be asking people stuff like, "How many bones does a shark have?"
I'm putting that one on Yanni.
That's crazy.
That's Yanni.
That's crazy.
And what the answer was? They have no bones.
The answer should have been 0.
What is a shark made of?
Cartilage, I guess. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
When I read that one for y'all, that was my first time getting that education myself. So,
that's
Well,
I think the answer should have been 0.
Because we love you so much and because we love the segment so much, we got a special surprise for you. Don't knock over any lights. Come over here. Come over here on this side, baby. This is my daughter, Kendall. I take her to school every morning, and she listens. Come on, we're going to get you on the mic. She listens in the car. We try to answer, pretend we're winning $1,000. So we thought it would be cool if we put Kyle on the spot.
Let's do it.
And do our own version. Now, our budget's a little different. You cannot win $1,000.
What can I win?
We'll give you $5.
I saw some snacks in the lobby. I'm walking out with all of them.
I've seen all that.
It's the $5 cash grab with Kyle. All right, you got 10 questions for Kyle?
Yes.
All right, I need you to talk right here. I need you to speak up loud. Are you ready, Kyle?
I'm ready.
All right, I'll start on the first question.
Who did Forbes name youngest self-made billionaire in 2019?
Jay-Z.
Which actor did voice Darth Vader and Mufasa from The Lion King?
Oh, James Earl Jones.
What does the acronym SMH stand for?
Shaking my head.
What's the name of Michelle Obama's 2018 memoir?
Becoming Michelle Obama?
What was the name of the Pilgrim ship?
The Mayflower.
Where was the Constitutional Convention held?
Philadelphia.
What was the name of Richard Nixon's hotel scandal?
COINTELPRO.
What are the names of the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus?
I don't know who they are.
In the American sitcom Living Single, what's the name of the magazine Khadijah owns?
Oh.
That's the one that'll get you.
That is going to get me. I don't know. The Source Part 2.
What Drake album is One Dance on?
Oh. More Life.
It's on Views.
Views.
We got him, baby.
Views. Wait, I need to know how many I got right or wrong.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's go back through. Let's go back through.
I ain't know half of that.
We have here, what did Forbes, the youngest self-made billionaire in 2019? That was Kylie Jenner.
Oh yeah.
Youngest.
Yeah.
You know Jay-Z. Come on, man.
I was throwing names out at that point.
All right, you got James Earl Jones right.
Yep.
Shaking My Head, of course you got that right.
Yep.
We're going to give you Michelle Obama because the answer is Becoming.
And I said Becoming Michelle.
Yeah, that was the first thing out of your mouth, so we'll give you that.
All right.
The Mayflower, you got that. Did you say Philadelphia for the?
I did.
All right, you got that right.
Ooh.
Richard Nixon, how'd you not get this?
Say the question again. Watergate.
That's right.
I said COINTELPRO. I knew it was something that was terrible.
You got
for the people.
J. Edgar Hoover there. What was the name of Richard Nixon's hotel scandal? It was Watergate because the hotel name is Watergate.
I got you.
Where they tapped the Democrats talking or whatever.
Crazy.
The Sanderson sisters, I don't know this.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's like shark bones. She got you on that one. The answer would be Winifred, Mary, and Sarah.
I have no idea who they are.
I told her that was a little too white, but then
She said, "Well, you gotta throw something in there sometimes."
Living
Switch it up.
Single. It
What
was
was that?
Flavor.
Flavor magazine.
And
Flavor
the Drake
magazine.
album was. Did you say Views?
No, she said Views. I said More Life, but I took too long.
You
I got 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
That ain't bad.
So that, wait.
$2.50. I'll take it.
She's like,
Good job,
Yeah.
baby.
Thank you. You did a good job with the questions
No,
too.
but we seriously. I mean, not because we're friends. Like we love that every morning, man.
Thanks, man.
It's
Appreciate
a part
that.
of our morning job.
educational.
Yeah, it can be, right? It can be.
Kyle be getting you, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all lock in, man. The Morning Hustle, L'Oreal, myself, Kyle Santillian, every morning for sure.
All right, where can people check you out on social media?
Radio King Kyle, man. 3 words, 1 name. Radio King Kyle. Follow me there anytime. You know, we have a good time on there, man. Just kind of sharing what we do throughout the day and the show and just everything that's going on.
All right, HBCU 101. What's the latest with that? I mean, I know, but let the people know.
Hey, man, we coming back season 9.
Okay.
In the spring, we're going to have some really cool guests. Don't know who yet, but don't worry. It's going to be a good season. Super excited. We got some really cool things in store for y'all next year, for sure.
Yeah. And where can people catch it?
Aspire TV on Sundays between 11 and 12, I'm sure.
It's a great show. It's a great show, man. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, he's our guy, Kyle Santillian. That's Jahliel Thurman kicking it about the Celebration Bowl. We are counting down more content, fresh content still to come this week right here on HBCU Game Day. You guys enjoy your week. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.
Yeah.